Hello, it's Sarah at the Better Movement School, and we are doing some somatic movement classes. So if you are watching this for the first time, then what we do is we go through the moves for the first 10 minutes, so you're all fully aware. We have a little chat if people are out there, want to say hello, comment, do whatever they want to, and then we go on to doing the movements. So somewhere on the Better Movement School you'll find lots of information about somatics. This is me going live after, I don't know, 2-3 years of not doing anything in the Better Movement School, maybe 2 years. Been doing lots of other things, so just getting back to doing it at this time when we all need something to calm us down, to keep us moving properly, to moving better than maybe we would have otherwise, get us off the sofa, especially at this time. We need everything, hi Tina, we need everything to be calm, we need to slow our nervous system down, and that's what this class does. It's somatic movement. Somatic movement is based on the principle of lengthening a muscle, shortening a muscle, and then lengthening it very gently out of the tightness, and then resting it. So the movements are very slow, they're very controlled, and you do them in a way that is pain-free to you. So that might mean that you do it in a much smaller way than you might see me doing it, because it might be that your pain threshold at that point is not very high within a movement. So I want you to keep that in mind. So if you're watching this back, or maybe watch it back if you didn't hear any of what I've just said, or go through the Better Movement School pages. I'm going to post some videos which go back to the basics and talk about the very basics of somatics over the next coming weeks, so people get an idea of what it really is. So we're remembering all the time that we're shortening the muscle, we're lengthening it, and then we're resting it as much as possible. So the slower the better. Not pushing into any pain. If you've got pain already, then you're just going to have that pain level, but you're not going to make it worse. So if it's there and it starts hurting, then you're going to not do that movement, or you're going to do it in a much smaller way. So I could have shoulder pain, and if I do that movement like that, that would make it worse. If I did it like that, that would just keep it where it is. And then over time, that pain, the body will remember that it's all right, there's nothing going on, because body holds on to pain to try and stop you doing a movement it didn't originally like, and then it forgets about that and carries on doing it. So you're retraining your muscles. So what we're going to do today is a shortened class to what I would normally do in my classes in Malvern. We're going to do 45-minute classes, because there might be some people over the next couple of weeks that have never done this before, and it's nice to sort of come in and do a kind of just a shorter class. When we do our hour classes, we've got time. People come to the venue, you want to spend more time there. But when we're here, hi Nicola, when we're here on online, we can just get on with it, can't we? So we don't need all the preambling, chatting, But I am going to do that for this first 10 minutes. So I'm in my little massage room that is very redundant at the moment. Hello. There's a few of you watching, that's nice. My little massage room with my ode to swimming over there, my little picture. Maybe I'll get to use it one day. I've only had it a couple of months and now it's not in any use. My poor table sitting over there. So I'll lie on the floor. All the movements are floor based. There's no jumping around, throwing yourselves about. It's all very slow. Hello, Angie. And you join in, and really you're listening to my voice. You're not watching me particularly. So I'm going to show you the moves so you've got them all ready to go. But when I'm doing the class, then you're really just listening. You're closing your eyes and you're trying to do all the movements with closed eyes. Obviously, if my instructions aren't good enough, or you're not really clear what I'm saying and you need a visual, then you can look at what I'm doing. It's not the best setup in here. I'll get organised eventually and it'll be a better angle, but at the moment we were doing it from behind, and now I'm going to do it from the side. So I'm just going to test out the sound as well, so you can all report back to me and tell me what the sound's doing. So from 6 o'clock on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'll be doing this. I won't be repeating each day. I'll be doing a different combination of moves every day, possibly combining it for certain things like hip problems or shoulder problems, or just because we are doing the original 3 reflexes, which are the red light, green light and trauma. But I'm going to do that in a separate video. You don't really need to know about that at the moment. You've just got to know the basics of shortening, lengthening, and sounds great. Thank you, Nicola. Yes, so shortening, lengthening and resting. So make sure you do those 3 things and don't push to any pain, and do it slowly. They're the main principles of doing a class. and listening and closing your eyes and getting inside your body. The point of somatics is for you to go inside. Hi Liz. Go inside and feel what's going on. So you're really looking at your body, slowing everything down. Now I'm going to advise you to not keep looking at me and watching what's going on, even if it's your first time. Try and sort of stay down and low, and every time you turn over or move around, try and keep your head down low, so sort of flinging yourself up every time you sit up. Just try and do everything in a very slow head turning way. Keep the head rested down, because that keeps your nervous system from going into fight or flight. The minute you start moving about, it's up, it's moving, it's getting all this information. And we're going to slow it right down with breath, and we want to keep it like that so that you can have a decent night's sleep, which you will, and feel really chilled and relaxed, and really kind of get that breath down into your body. So you're really doing some cleansing as well. You're getting the oxygen in, it's going to clean your body out. Do what, most of us we breathe right up here. We never breathe down into our bellies, as I discovered with my child when I was out walking him with the dog, and realised that he's probably having lots of anxiety attacks because he breathes right up here, and he was doing that when we were walking along, getting headaches just because he doesn't breathe very well. Anyway, hi Kaz, it's lovely to see some people here. I hope you stay. If you don't, you want to re-watch this, we're going to put it it'll be on here, and I'm going to put it onto my old YouTube channel, which I'm going to revamp, so it'll be on there and you can watch it whenever you want to. But because I'm going to be doing this every I love all your little messages popping up, because I'm going to be doing this on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays and Friday evenings and Friday lunchtimes. You'll have plenty of time to catch up and join in, and hopefully some of you, while you've got this time, will do this regularly. I'm just really looking forward to doing it regularly. It's quite nice to be able to just come and do it and interact with people and see what everybody's up to. So at the end, maybe about 5:45, I'm going to stop, so it's shorter, I'm saying those people who've just come on, the normal classes, and I'll have a little bit of an interaction with you. If you want to ask me anything, you've got any questions you want to ask, specific parts of the body you want something for, then maybe I might not be able to answer it straight away, but I may do something the next day that talks it through. Anyway, I'm rambling away, so let me just talk through what we're doing today. So I'm going to move the messages away, so I can't see you talking to me, I'm afraid. But we're going to do arch and curl. So we always start with arch and curl. Arch and curl is like a cat-cow in yoga, but much slower and lying on your back. We're not starting yet, I'm just going through things with you. So just if you want to watch those people that have not done anything before, I'm just going to put my hands here so you can see what's going on. You don't have to have your hands here. An arch is where your pelvis tilts forward, so you can see my hands moving forward. A curl is where your pelvis tilts back. So we'll be doing this movement, cat-cow movement. Well, I won't refer to it as that, just for the yoga people. It's this movement for an arch and curl. So side on, you'd see my back, if I was nice and slim, and had an arch in my back, you'd see that I'm arching. But I'm trying to just so my hands will give you the visual. So we're doing this movement with our pelvis. We do the same in our shoulders, so we would press back in our shoulders and tilt our shoulders forward. So we would arch and curl. So that's what we're going to do for starters. And then we're going to add in some arms later on. And our arms are going to be to lengthen our chest muscles, and they're going to go within an arch. So I'd be arching and curling. So we're going to add that in. That's going to be one of our moves. We're going to build that up. And then just having a look at my legs, I'm just going to turn around so you can maybe see a bit better here. We're going to send one knee without arch and curling down to the opposite foot. And I'm going to talk you through that. That's going to be one of our moves today, and that's going to lengthen across the groin and the bottom. And then we are going to go onto our sides, and we're going to do our lengthening arm chest movement where we open our chest, and we're going to lift our feet eventually. So we open our arm, and when we come back we lift our feet, and then we're opening on a diagonal. So that's going to be a move that we're going to build up. And then we're going to also go onto our fronts, and our front move today will be gentle lifting of the upper body, hands down or hands up depending on how strong you're feeling. So we're going to do those. You'll either do it with your head, neck going back, or you do it just with your head coming up. So it's up to you where you put your arms, or you have your hands. And if your neck's okay, then you could take the chin back. And then eventually we're going to bring our foot in. So we'll have a bent leg, bent foot, and we'll send our foot up to the ceiling. And we'll do it at the same time as we lift up. So I'm doing these very fast to show you. When we do them, actually, they'll be very slow. So I know some of you on here come weekly to my class, and this is nothing new to you, but it's still nice to sort of have it all there. And we'll finish with our wash rag. So our wash rag is knees down to the side, head in the opposite direction, and arms twisting, arm twisting back on this side, arm twisting forward on the other side, that movement, and then vice versa. So the hand you're looking at, the thumb will go back. The hand that you're not looking at, which you have your eyes closed anyway, will be going down. So that's on the knee side that's coming over. Yeah, so we swap over. So that's our wash rag. So there are our moves. So let's get started. Going over already. So we're going to carry on. We're going to find a nice space, have a pillow, have a mat. Calm down. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm just going to talk you through it, and you're going to get heavily involved and lose yourselves in this. Okay? So we'll do a scan. We'll do a body scan. So gently lengthen your legs down. Rest into the floor. Get yourself comfortable. Let go of my rambling voice. Let's get into my slower voice. And do nothing. So we always start a class doing nothing. So we're going to scan our whole body. So start at the feet, and we'll scan underneath all the way up to the head first, and then we'll start at the top of the head and scan all the way down the front of the body. So we're going up the back along the floor, picking up everything, every detail along the way. Start at your feet, under the soles, and just scanning. Make sure your eyes are closed so you can fully get into this. Soma is the being involved in your body. So we're in our soma now. Calves, backs and sides of knees. We're just scanning up, noticing what's going on. Vibrations, soreness, tightness, heaviness, wonkiness. Noticing how close to the floor parts of the body are, how close, far away some are, differences side to side. Have a scan across the back of the pelvis, sides of the pelvis. Notice how your pelvic bones are on the floor, if they're equal. Can you notice if one's higher up towards the ear, up towards the ceiling, down into the floor. Have a little look at your lower back, spine, waist, rib cage. You're just noticing across side to side. Shoulders, shoulder blades, mid back or middle of the back. Up into the shoulders, top of the shoulders, neck, back of the head. Go back and have a look at the arms. Just scan down them, notice if anything's going on. Notice where you placed your hands. Are they facing up to the ceiling? Are they rolled in? Are they close to the body? And then do the same thing down the front of the body. So start at the top of the head, across the face, down through the neck, shoulders, chest. Just following down, noticing everything as you go down. Notice how your chest moves with your breath. All the way down. Make sure you check out the front of your hips, in between your thighs, inside of the thighs, top of the thighs, through the front of the knees, ankles, top of the feet, toes. Just make sure you've had a full scan. You've got a good measure of what's happening. Maybe have a little quick look around and just check into those areas. I can feel my left ankle is buzzing a bit, my right hip, normal places on me, left shoulder, tightness in my left shoulder. So I'm going to be very aware of those when I'm working, and hopefully that will change throughout. So let's gently bring our knees up, slide one knee out to the side, bring it up, slide the other knee out to the side, bring it up. Just change your position so you're comfortable. Try and keep your head still to the ground as much as you can, unless we do some lifting, and then you're just going to be wary of keeping your neck soft. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and let's slow everything down. This is where we stop our nervous system firing up. So it's ready to take on the messages we're going to give it without any worry, without any fear, without thinking it's got to go into fight or flight. We want our sympathetic nervous system slow, slow, slow. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, slow the out breath down, and then start taking your attention down into the body. So watch where your breath goes. Is it up into the shoulders? Is it down into the belly? And start moving it into the missing places. So where it's not moving, because we know we can take the breath and move the belly. If that's not happening, then we're going to slowly take it down that direction. If it's not moving up into the shoulders, we'll do a bit of looking at breathing up into the shoulders. We want to fill the whole torso with breath without forcing it, just a little more each time with each breath. If I go quiet, it's because I'm just getting a little bit into this myself. So I can get some feedback for you, tell you what's going on with me. So once we've started getting that breath and noticing where it goes, and maybe thinking about the fact that it can go right down to our pelvis, to our waist, into our abdomen. So we're doing this actively, we're watching what's going on, we're not drifting off into sleep, we're noticing what happens in each part of the body every time we breathe into it. As soon as we're getting down into the pelvis, some of you might be watching just to see at some point, or just watching anyway, then I'm just going to put my hands on my pelvis. The rest of you don't have to, you keep them by your side, and I'm just going to gently tilt my pelvis into an arch. And then I'm going to come back. And I'm going to do that a few times, and every time I tilt my pelvis, I'm noticing how my back muscles shorten, and then I'm lengthening them again. So we're arching into our back. So our back's going to press into the pelvis, tilt towards the tailbone, and the lower back will probably come off the floor gently. We're not trying to force anything or change anything, we're just tilting. Our stomach's lifting up because of the shortening of the back muscles, and then we're floating it back down to where we started. So our feet are nice and soft, we're not pushing into them, we're trying not to switch our thigh muscles on and off, we're just using our lower back muscles, lengthening the abdomen. And at some point when you're feeling softer, start bringing the shoulders in. If your arms are by your side, you can press the shoulders back gently. If that's too strong for the lower back, then just make it a bit smaller. Make the arch a bit smaller in the lower part of the body. And remember, the point of this is if we shorten into tight muscles, they've got the potential to lengthen straight away afterwards, and that's what we're doing without frightening them, scaring them, stretching them, pulling them. We're retraining them, and they have to be repeated for this to happen. We have to keep repeating this pattern. So the arch in my back is getting a bit bigger, I'm controlling it, it's not bouncing all over the place. If it's bouncing, if you're getting a ratchety feeling, you've gone too far, it's much too big. You need to make it much smaller. It doesn't matter how big this gets throughout the process, as long as you've got control of it. You might be moving a millimetre, but as long as it's not bouncing or hurting you. So I'm just gently pressing my shoulder blades back into the floor. My arms want to open out a little bit, so I'm going to join my arms in and let them open out a little bit. I'm going to let the palms open and press back the shoulders. So my arms are going to roll a little bit onto the back of the hands. I'm just arching. So I'm going to start investigating. Some of you might not. Some of you have been doing this for a while might think, actually, I'm going to carry on arching for a little while. The rest of you might want to just start investigating the curl part of this. So the curl is you come back to the neutral and then you breathe out and you bring the pelvis towards your belly button. So you're tilting into a flat back or flatter back and the pelvis is tilting up. So if you had a bowl of water on your lower abdomen, the water would be spilling towards your chin this time. If you were doing it the opposite way into the arch, the water would be spilling down towards your toes. So if you can picture that. Otherwise, put your hands on your belly and watch the fingers tilt up towards the knees as you curl. Watch them point down towards the toes as you arch. So my shoulders are still joining in as I arch. But I'm just watching the pelvis for a little while, so they're just going back to neutral, the shoulders. So arching, curling, I'm going to bring my shoulders in a little bit. That means I squeeze into the chest muscles, the hands might rotate over a bit, the arms are joining in. It's up to you how much you bring the arms in. You might just be playing with the shoulder movement. Keep your jaw soft. And when you're ready, start focusing a bit more on the breath. Some of you, if you're thinking about the pelvis, might not be thinking about the breath. So you breathe out as you curl, as the pelvis tilts towards your belly button and you get a flatter back. And breathe in as you arch. Keeps the integrity of the lower spine, which would be arching anyway if we breathe down into our belly. So we carry on this in quite a repetitive way, and things should start lengthening. Come under your control a bit more. If they don't, have a little rest and then come back to it. Sometimes it's a bit like patting your head, patting your belly at the same time. You can do it for a bit and then you kind of lose it, or learning to play the piano or ride a bike, you can do it for a little while and then your brain says there's too much information, I'm just going to stop, forget what I'm doing. So you need a little rest and come back to it. If you're new to this, the rest of you, if you're not new to this and you want to just move on a bit and you're just getting into the rolling the arms and you're doing bigger movements, that's absolutely fine. So some of you might stay at this point where you're just investigating rolling your arms in and out close to the body. That's just squeezing into the chest at the top, and the arms would probably roll over onto the inside, on the thumbs, on the palms, and then as you press back, the palms might open. The rest of you could turn this into the flower. Just the flower is just adding the knees in. So the knees would squeeze together as you curl and breathe out, and then as you arch, the knees would open. I didn't show you that at the start, but it's simple to just start involving that. It's just an opening, a close, and closing horizontally, as well as your arch and curl. So make sure you keep the neck nice and soft if you're involving all this movement. Some of you might just be arch and curling in the pelvis. Some of you might have brought the shoulders in. Some of you might have brought the arms in. Some of you might have brought the knees in. So that's as far as we're going with this movement. It's called the flower. You can play this back and watch this. Watch me doing it. Not now though. Do it later. I'll repeat these things. These things, there's only kind of a limited number of moves that we do throughout the classes, and some of them are sort of mixed up together and some of them are repeated. So if you joined in with this for the next couple of weeks, then you would see things repeated and you'll get to know them. Or there's the video that I've done that's actually on the page now that you can have a look at, that shows you. Or you could do the 7-day challenge, which is 7 videos that show you lots of individual moves. So I'm going to start finishing this move now. So I'm opening quite wide in my arch and curl because everything is moving well. Even my slightly dodgy left shoulder is not having a problem today. My right hip's quite happy. So I've made the movement quite big. Some of you might still be doing it in quite a small way.
Just remember to come back to the breath. Take the breath down into your abdomen every time. Expand the belly. Breathe out, get rid of the breath slowly, slow on that movement out. So I'm going to do 2 more and then I'm going to rest my legs down, do nothing. So we slide the knees out to the side, protect the lower back, rest everything down, let go, soften into the floor, and we don't do anything for 2 breaths. So we have 2 breaths doing nothing. You can do longer, but it tends that you might start dropping off. So just a couple of really nice, slow, long breaths, bringing that nervous system back down to nice and soft, slow, no fight or flight. Lots of oxygens circulating the body, cleansing it, allowing everything to work properly. And then we're going to bring the knees up again, and we're going to bring our arms above our chest. So we're going to go back to the arch and curl in a very small way. Arms are going to be above our chest, parallel to each other, long up towards the ceiling, and then we'll turn the palms to face the knees at the front. So your arms are still up in the air. Sink your shoulders back down into the floor. You've got bent knees like you did in the arch and curl. And all we're going to do is arch our backs gently and take the hands behind us. Very slow. They're not going down to the floor. They're just going back a little bit, maybe 10 degrees, and then they're going to come forward as we curl the pelvis towards the belly button. So the shoulders stay down into the floor as much as you can. Breathe in, the arms go back and you arch in the pelvis. Breathe out, the arms come forward. Now some of you might be able to take your arms a bit further forward than I'm talking about, but you need to investigate how your chest muscles feel, your shoulder blades, your back, your abdomen, your rib cage. You don't do this mindlessly. This is not kind of just flinging yourself about. The whole point of this is to watch everything that's happening. It's very slow. Some of you might be doing this for the first time and not like how slow it is, but you get used to it when you start realizing the benefits of doing this for a sustained period of time. The effects it has on the body, the lengthening it does to areas that you didn't know could lengthen again. You've been trying to stretch and forced to become longer again, it just causes more pain. So if you have got a shoulder problem, you've got frozen shoulder, something's going on with this, what you can do is carry on with the movement, but rest your upper arms down on the floor and just do this with the forearms. And you might need to change the angle and bring the arms a bit closer to the body, but you can still do this in a smaller way. So I've rested my arms down just in case somebody's watching or watches this later. So my palms are still going forward and back, but my upper arms are on the floor. I'm still arch and curling in a small way because I want to check out that this feels okay. Because I don't want any pain in my arms or my shoulders or my neck or my upper back. I don't really want any twinges, to be fair, so if anything starts twinging, then I'll check that out and make it smaller for a little while, the movement. So I know that my left chest in this position, my upper arm are a little bit wary of this movement from the cat bowl incident still, even though my neck's all right. So I'm just going to watch that for a little while. So I'm going back to the longer arm to see what happens when I do it in that position. Some of you might stay in the lower arm position for the whole movement. Some of you might go back to checking out the longer arm movement to see how it feels. If you're getting quite a big arch, because when you're taking the weight back of the arms, you could slide the shoulder blades down your back gently, as long as it doesn't hurt you, and that will lengthen you in the chest. Just be mindful that you can control it all though. So we're looking to lengthen our chest muscles, and we can do that by engaging the back muscles a little bit. So we can slide the shoulder blades down the back, as long as it doesn't hurt anything, and you've got full control over them coming back again. So remember, if you bring the arms forward, you're squeezing into the chest muscles. It's called the pec minor. The pec major is the big muscle that men usually develop. It's under our breasts, and The pec minor is a line of muscle that goes down into the rib from the collarbone. So this is the one we're working, not the big ones that go across horizontally. They're involved a little bit because we're moving the arms, but they're a bit squashed in as well. So the main things that are happening are the muscles in between, down the back and the chest muscles. So we're going to do a couple more rounds of this. Make sure you're doing it a small way if it's hurting you or if it's too strong or you've got tingling in your fingers. If you've got tingling in the fingers, bring the arms down straight away. Tingling anywhere. When I've done my last round, I'm going to rest my arms down, little bend in the elbows, bring the knees down, soften into the floor, let the jaw go. Couple of breaths doing nothing. So we're going to bring the knees up again. Leave the arms where they are, take them out to the side slightly maybe. Bring the knees up. Take them as wide as your mat. If you're not on a mat, then think about how wide a mat would be and take your feet that wide. Not too close to your bottom, not too far away. We're going to always have one knee staying in this position. The other knee is going to go forward as if it's trying to aim towards the big toe. But we're going to do it in a very small way because I want you to feel your bottom, the side of your bottom, the inner thigh movement and the front of the groin. So let's not make it come from the waist too much at the moment. Let's make it come from the knee movement. So you're going to alternate knees. One knee goes down towards the opposite big toe. So it's very gentle. The other knee stays where it is. So you should feel the inner thigh engaging and shortening in the groin. The outer bottom, the outer leg down to the knee, lengthening. So make sure that doesn't hurt. And make sure it doesn't hurt as you push onto the other side of the pelvis. Because that pelvis is trying to hold you in position. If you've got a sore back of the pelvis on that side, you're going to feel it. So make sure that the other side of your body is not hurting either. If you want to join the breath in, breathe it in as you take the knee to the side, down through the middle, sorry, not out to the side. The knee's just coming back to where it started, so you have a standing knee again. Breathe in, send the knee down towards the big toe, so it's not just dropping down towards the other knee, it's going forward of the other knee. Coming back to standing, breathe in as the knee goes down. You're going to go onto the edge of the foot, hopefully. So my right outer pelvis doesn't like that knee dropping through the centre particularly, so I'm going to not make that move as big on my right side as the left side. Just for a few rounds to see how it feels. So the minute I feel like it's going to go into that pain, I come back again. Have some awareness of your sacrum because you're tilting on and off of it. That's the triangle at the bottom of the spine down to the tailbone. Try and keep that other side standing so that sacrum stays where it is. Feel the inner thigh getting involved, tightening, and then feel it lengthening. So be mindful of that on the way back up. If this starts feeling like it's coming a bit more from the side of the body, you're letting go around the waist and the lower back, great. We were looking at the bottom and the side of the leg, but now start looking at the waist. Especially if nothing's bouncing or jumping and you're not in any pain, look at the waist and where it's twisting a bit around the waist and letting go up to the armpit. Some of you might want to start investigate pushing onto the inside of the foot to send the knee further towards that big toe. Keep the other knee high. This is all very small controlled movements, very concentrated. You're looking at a lot of small areas, but it's quite tiring for the brain. So make sure you jump around and have a look at those areas and not forgetting about, you're not doing this mindlessly. We're going to do 3 or 4 more of these and then we're going to stop. Make sure when you come back to the centre you're stopping, you're not just swinging from side to side. Remember, these are all soft. It's not like yoga or Pilates, it's not stretching, you're not forcing anything. Everything else is soft, your breathing's soft, your jaw's soft. I'm making this my last one, and then I'm going to lengthen my legs down gently. So I'm going to bring them together and then I'm going to lengthen them down and let go. Soften into the floor. Just check out how everything's feeling, your bottom, your lower back. You might already start feeling a little bit different through your legs and your back. So, as I said before, try and keep your head low. We're going to turn to our side, so maybe bring your knees up first. Turn gently onto your side, keeping your head low as you can. Maybe slide the other shoulder underneath and then come over onto your front. Your head's probably going to have to come off the floor, but just keep it low so your spine's not fully involved in the back of your neck. So fingertips by your ears or by your temples or under your forehead. And then all we're going to do is engage the back muscles. You might use the neck as well, it's up to you. So the neck would just be shortening into the neck as you lift the upper back. So you can leave the hands on the floor if you want to, by your temples or under your head, and then just engage the upper back. Don't engage the lower back. So you might just be squeezing the shoulder blades together, trying to slide them down your back, and then coming down very slowly. Slow, 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 slow. It's all about that slow release of those long back muscles. So I'm going to come up and then I'm going to engage my neck muscles and look to the wall. My eyes are still closed because I'm still involved in what's going on. Then I'm going to come back down, lengthen the neck muscles. Rest my forehead back on the floor and wait before I go up again. I'm not going straight up. I'm going to make sure my chest muscles have softened down into the floor and everything's let go. Breathe in as you go up. Breathe out as you come down. Make sure you're releasing the neck muscles very slowly. Nothing's hurting, nothing's jolting. Breathe in as you go up, breathe out as you come down. My bottom muscles aren't switching on. I don't need to because I'm not going that high. Remember, this is not about strengthening, it's about lengthening. So we're not doing it as an up and down gym movement. It's very different. I'm going to do 2 more because we're going to involve the legs in a minute. So we just want to do 2 more before they get involved. When you've done your last one, rest down, soften into the floor, let go, do nothing. Well, I'm just going to slide up the mat. You don't need to see my top half if you're looking at this on another day. So we're going to bend our right leg. We're going to flex our foot, so we've got 90-degree angles at the knee and at the ankle. And then we're going to breathe in and we're going to squeeze the bottom muscles, send that foot up to the ceiling, lift the upper back. You might want to flex the neck, it's up to you, it's very strong. Come down gently, gently, slowly, 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 slowly. Don't let that bottom muscle let go violently and sink everything back down into the floor when you're down. You're going to do about 4 or 5 of these, so do them very slowly. Engage the bottom muscles, lift the leg up. Shouldn't be in any pain now. You've involved the lower back and the bottom and the back of the leg. Still make sure you're letting go at the chest and the thigh. You're not putting your calf back down to the floor. It's staying at the 90-degree angle with a flex foot. I'm on my third one. That's how slowly I'm doing it. Have an awareness of the front of your body. When you take everything up, the front has to let go, so it's softening and lengthening. Do a round of breath when you're down if you need to make sure you fully let go. This is my last one on my right leg. If you're doing the left leg, it doesn't matter. When I've done this one, I'm going to bring my leg down very gently because it's been held up through the back of the thigh, so I'm going to let it come down gently and soften and let go. And then I'll do the same on the other side after I've had my 2 breaths. So check out your angles again through your leg, through your calf and your ankle and your thigh. You've got your 90 degrees, your flat foot going up to the ceiling. If you can't lift your leg up, just squeeze your bottom muscles as you lift the back up. Doesn't have to come very far off the floor. Be mindful of the opposite leg hanging on for dear life as you try to lift your left leg. Then we're just doing 4 or 5, depending on how quickly you're going. I'm going to do 4 because I'm doing it quite slowly. So I'm on my last one, breathing in as I go up, breathing out as I come down. Fully letting go at the bottom. If you're doing one more, then do one more. Otherwise, I'm bringing my leg down now and letting go, softening into the mat. Couple of breaths doing nothing. And then we're going to come and lie on our left side. So you probably need your pillow. You don't have to have a pillow. If you've got one, get it. Try and keep your head down. I've just flung myself up while I'm talking to you, but try and roll over gently. Next time you do the class, try and have your pillow close by. So I've got a pillow on a chair. So I'm just going to reach for it. I don't really need a pillow, but I'm going to try it with a pillow and see what happens. So we're going to bring our arms in front of us, touching, palms touching, making a steeple on the floor. And then we're going to bring our knees up to 90 degrees, higher if you want to, at least 45 degrees. Don't have them too long, up as if you're sitting in a chair. And then we're very gently, maybe not watch me too closely if you do this, watch this again, because I'm going to bang my arm into the massage table, but just gently opening your arm, looking over your shoulder, reaching that arm back behind you, watching that arm go. So if you're doing it with closed eyes, gently sweeping that arm back, touching it down on the other hand, resting before you go again. Breathe in, take the arm back, leave the other arm down on the floor. Don't force that chest open, it's not a stretch. Those chest muscles, we use them a lot. We sit at computers, sit in cars, sit watching the telly, they get tighter and tighter. We don't want to stretch them. We want to remind them how long they could be or will be again when we do all this somatic movement. Breathe in, Take the arm back, breathe out as you come forward. Leave the legs out of it, nothing's happening in the legs at the moment. We just want to feel how much the chest is opening. And eventually this will translate down into the waist. So you'll start feeling into your back muscles, the abdomen, a diagonal movement from opposite shoulder to opposite hip. Knees stay together, they're not unraveling, because otherwise you'll start tilting back. You won't start feeling the length around the waist. You'll get it in the chest, but you won't get it along the side of the body, and we want that as well. So keep the knees where they are, they're anchoring you. They're not sliding apart. If you start letting them slide open, then you're cheating. Feels nice, it's easier, and you'll get more movement backwards, and you'll kid yourself that things are lengthening because you've felt your arm get nearer to the floor, but it's not really, it's an illusion. So you could start reaching that upper hand forward. So my right hand, I'm going to slide it forward because I want to start feeling this come from the lower back, from the waist, from the sides of the body, and then I'm going to slide my arm back and then take it open. Breathe out as you come forward, reach that arm forward. Slide it along the floor. Feel the back muscles. Make sure your neck's okay as you twist your head. So your arm, your back are moving great. Then start thinking about your neck a bit more. Looking over your shoulder, feeling how the opposite side feels. You're squeezing into the right side if you're moving the right arm. And as you come back, you want to let that right side let go. So you could start looking down towards your left shoulder as you reach the right arm forward. I'm going to move my pillow away because I want to feel that a little bit more. Be mindful of your knees again. They're not splitting, they're not sliding back along the thigh. So we're going to do a couple more of these. Just notice how far your arm's going. Feel into your arm a little bit. Don't let your arm hurt though. Don't let anything hurt. I'm going to make this my last one. And then I'm going to rest on my side, get my pillow back, do nothing, keep everything soft, let go of my fingers, my shoulder, my lower waist. The inner thigh muscles might be hanging on, your calves, your jaw. So let go completely. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to that position with our palms touching in front of us, and as we come back into this position, as we come past this, as we bring our arm back and it's coming down towards the floor, then we're going to lift our feet up and we're going to squeeze into the hip at the front, and then we're going to bring that leg down, down, down as we bring the arm back over the body. And what that should do is allow the length along the groin and into the thigh to lengthen. So let's start the movement again, bringing the arm over across the chest, reaching out behind us gently, twisting through the torso. And as we come forward back to that side lying position, then we start bringing the feet up. So don't bring them back till the arms are moving back. My feet are up in the air, my arms reaching forward, and I'm coming back down again. Feet coming down, feet coming down, feet coming down, and then reach my arm across the body. So the knees are staying stuck together. They're just tilting onto the knees as you come forward. Ankles and calves lifting off the floor. They're stuck together. Nothing's opening or flapping apart. Everything's still stuck into the position it is. You're just squeezing into the waist and the groin and the abdomen at the front. So the chest will be tight as you come forward because it's squeezing the arm forward, squeezing the chest together, and we're just going to squeeze a little bit into the waist and the groin and the inner thighs, which allows us to then lengthen out a little bit more as we go back. So you might start noticing that you're getting wider after that squeezing in. And you can feel yourself lengthening across the abdomen, in the waist, around the lower back, everything getting a bit easier, softer. I'm going to do 3 or 4 more of these on this side. Involve your neck again. Knees not lifting off the floor. If you don't mind trying to lift off, because the gravity is taking my body back as well. So I'm just going to watch those knees, that they're not giving me a false sense of where my body's getting to. I'm going to do 2 more. Very easy when we do these whole body movements to start drifting off. It's lovely, but make sure you've had a good look at everything that's going on before you go to that place. If you're doing this at home, you might just take this into a meditative state, and that's fine as long as everything is lengthening and okay to start with. So resting down on your side when you've done the last round, soften everything again, let go. Couple of breaths, doing nothing, let everything be stored away, let the body just catch up with all that information, store it away, doesn't really need to catch up, but just let it have a rest in between, and then come over onto the other side. So keep your head down, keep the back of your neck long, turn over gently, and start the process again. So you might not hear me as well this side, I do apologise. You've been through that side, so you should be able to just pick this up again without listening to me too much. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more silent this time and just let you do this. So just starting with the opening of the arms, knees at 90 degrees, higher if you want to, not lower than 45. Opening the left arm. If your lower shoulder hurts, then make sure that you are aware of that and that you're being mindful of enough that you're not making the move bigger than that shoulder can cope with. So if your right shoulder starts hurting, then you really keep that as your marker point. The shoulder you're lying on, it might have been the other side. And if you've got shoulder issues, you keep this very small. You bend the elbow a little bit, you don't move the head as much. If you really can't sweep the arm over the body, you just move the shoulder forward and back. So you might keep the arm on the side of the body and just take the shoulder back behind you and then bring it forward. Let the arm say stop. Let the arm stay soft, even. Involve the neck. Reach the top arm forward of the lower arm. going to do 2 more on this side in the upper body. Rest on your side when you've done the last one and let go. Couple of breaths, doing nothing, let everything soften. Bend your top elbow, soften your waist. And then gently starting that movement again and then bringing the feet lift in. Remember, the foot lift goes on the forward movement. So if you bring the arm forward just as it's getting above your body, bring the legs up gently. They don't have to come very high. If you're watching this and you're seeing how high my legs are coming, you don't have to come that high. But I'm really squeezing into my left hip. My happy left hip doesn't mind it at all. You might have to watch the opposite hip as you lift up because that'll be lengthening. Somewhere in the bottom or around the lower back, so watch that. That your opposite hip's not happy, if it's not happy. If you're getting any bouncing or jumping, then you're probably going too high, too deep into it. Taking your arm too far back, if it bounces all the way back or bounces on the way forward. Your abdominal muscles are letting go, but you've got no control over them letting the legs down, then you've gone too high. So I'm going to do 2 more. So I'm finishing now. I'm going to rest down on my side, let go, do nothing. And then I'm slowly going to come over onto my back, trying to keep my head down as much as possible. Taking the pillow away if you've got a pillow. Keeping your knees up, taking them as wide as the mat, your feet as wide as the mat. Taking your arms out to the side, away from the body, long, no higher than 90 degrees. And then we're going to finish with the wash rag. So the wash rag just means our knees go from side to side. So we've done some nice lengthening around the waist. So I'm going to let you start from the waist and not the bottom. So we're just gently taking our knees side to side. Feeling how the groin feels, feeling how the outer leg feels, the knees, the ankles, the calves. Feeling this translate up into your waist, up into your abdomen, across the front of your torso, up your sides, into your lower back. We've done a lot of twisting around the middle, so you should be alright with this. Your knees were going side to side earlier, involving your groin, so you've had some activity. Then you can bring the neck in. Neck goes side to side, but opposite way to the knees. Nice and slow and controlled, like you were just doing with the arm opening. So I'm still watching everything. Every time I add something in, I watch what's happening to the rest of the body. So have that awareness. It's not just When we do this, some of you in class, we just start doing it and we don't really, because it feels so nice after a whole hour class and we built into it, we don't really watch what's going on, we just let it all go. So make sure you're watching this. You haven't had a full hour class, you've only had about half an hour, half an hour, 35 minutes, so we haven't done all the moves we would normally do. So we're going to bring the arms in gently if you're ready to do that. So your arms turn back on the side that your head is towards. So that means they open at the shoulder, rotate back, shoulder blade goes back behind your body, down the back. My elbows are rotating back as well. And the other arm is going to turn down. So the other arm turns down. The hand I'm not facing, it's going to rotate forward and squeeze in at the chest muscles. So do that in a small way to start with. Watch one shoulder at a time maybe. Have some awareness of your knees going side to side. This is a big whole body movement. The brain can't really watch everything that's going on. You can't keep your eye on everything that's going on. So be mindful that you keep things smaller maybe while you're watching one area. If you can't have your shoulders so high, move them down a little bit. You can bend them at the elbow a bit as well. Feel the twist through the spine, through the lower back, through the abdomen. And once you've got used to it all, breathing in as you go side to side. So breathe in as you go to the side with the knees. So you expand across the belly. You might even feel an arch going on in your back. Breathe out as you come forward and you get back to the middle. Breathe in as you go to the other side. If you want to start pushing into the upper foot, you could do that. As you go onto the edge of the upper foot, you could push onto it, send the knee forward a little bit like we were doing earlier. Now this becomes quite a big flowing movement. You can involve the shoulder blades, slide them down your back on the rotating arm that's going back. You can involve the fingers and the toes, pointing the toes as you go side to side. You can flex the feet if you want to, go side to side. You can bend the wrists back or point the wrists, it's up to you. But these are kind of things you need to make sure you've got the rest of the body moving okay before you start thinking about. So I'm going to do about 2 more each side. Keep your head rested down into the floor, not lifting it up at any point. And try not to stretch. Some of you, if this is new to you, might be forcing your knees down to the floor, forcing your shoulders forward. Try not to turn it into a stretch. You all know what a stretch feels like. It's you forcing something to happen in a part of the body. We don't want the body to go into a startle reflex, is what happens when we stretch, where it fights back, trying to hold you together. So I'm going to rest down now. I'm going to bring my arms back by the side of my body, lengthen the legs and let go. Soften into the floor. Scan your body as we did at the start. Maybe do the whole body if you want to. So you can look at the front and the back by just staying in each part of the body, each joint, and looking around it. Noticing how it feels different to when you started. Might be that your pain level's gone. It might be that you feel longer in that area, softer. Notice if anything feels more even, closer to the floor, not so tight, not so sore. You might find that your breathing has changed, it's further down into your body or higher up into your neck. If you have overdone it, if you were stretching, if you were doing things in too strong a way, you're going to feel it tomorrow. You might feel it tomorrow anyway if it's new to you, because it's still movement. It's still shortening, lengthening muscles, tightening muscles. It's still something your body hasn't done before, so you might feel that you've done a workout. If you do feel like you've done a workout and you've got DOMS, which is the tight muscle feeling, that's soreness, then that should go away within 24 hours. Things will settle down. Just make sure if you watch any of the videos on here that you do them by yourself, that you do it gently and softly without stretching. So when you've scanned your body, then it's up to you. You might stay here and have a little rest, do nothing, or you might just have a little sit up but gently coming onto your side first, bringing your knees up, resting on your side. When you feel like sitting up, push up gently using your arms, not your waist muscles to fling you up. And when you're sitting, sit for a little bit. I'm just going to sort myself out. Oh, I feel better for that. Oh, my puffy eyes. Too much Prosecco, I think. So, if you're new to this, I'm just going to see if... Okay, so if anybody wants to say anything to me, they can. The classes are going to be shorter. Some of you might be lying down. Stay lying down if you're lying down. You don't have to look at me and my messy hair. Really, you don't. The classes are going to be shorter. So even though we have still gone on a bit, it's still longer than I intended. But we're going to try and aim for 45-minute classes. So there won't be me rambling away as much. You'll have done your walking scan, your standing scans beforehand, and we'll just do our lying scans. And we're just going to take out a couple of moves. So there won't be as many moves. And what we might do is we might we might do the same amount of moves, but just do a shorter amount of time doing them. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so share this. I'm going to be doing it for free, so it's in the Better Movement School. Hello, Loretta. It's in the Better Movement School page. I'm going to be transferring these videos over to my old YouTube page, so I'll revamp that up. And there are some quite informative videos over on that page if you want to look. If you want to go back down through the Better Movement School page, there's lots of videos, old videos of me rambling on, telling you different things, talking about stuff that is not just somatics, but is strengthening or lengthening stuff. So have a look at that. And I'm going to be here Tuesdays at 10 to 6, Wednesdays at 10 to 6, Thursdays at 10 to 6, Friday lunchtimes 10 to 12, and you can come along and do all of them. It might just be for the next 2 weeks, it might be a bit longer. I might, if I can work out if people are interested, and because obviously I am self-employed and I'm not earning any money now, I might start charging, but we might do it in a more Zoom way where I can watch you and advise you as you go along, because then it'd be more like a class. But at the moment it's just getting people interested, staying in touch with people, checking in, giving people something nice to do in the evenings, calm everything down. If you're stressing, because it's so stressful for people at the moment. I had a little hoo yesterday. Thanks, Tina. I'll keep looking out for you when I take the dog out in the mornings. So lots of love to you all, and I'll see you here at 10 to 6 tomorrow, where I'll show you the moves, and then we'll start at 6. Okay, share it, send people the video, the 7-day video, join the 7-day video challenge. It's pinned at the top of the page, and lots of love. Mwah! Stay safe.